Hello, welcome back. It's Lone Gamer UK here. Sorry about the sound quality on the last video. For some reason my microphone sound got set lower than normal, so hopefully it's better this video than it was before. We're continuing to try and do Mission 5, the elusive Mission 5. I've tried several times not to get this engagement that I've got into here, but there's just no way around it. Basically, I've got a ship fleet that auto detects me as soon as the map loads, and there's subs pretty much nearby, which I think are my mission. So I've tried evading a couple of times, but I just can't not get encountered by these ships. So I'm going to have to destroy these ships, I think, before we can then do the next mission, which is the sub fleet, which I think is my mission 5 that I'm desperately trying to do. Anyway, so we've got encountered by some ships on they're on the bearing 229, designated Sierra 1. We're 50 feet deep, heading's 173, so we're heading south. We've got a strong thermal layer though at 87 feet. We've close to 10,000 yards. Let's just load up our sub with torpedoes, and yeah, so it looks like we're going to have to take some ships out and then we'll continue. So let's have a look.
Rig ship for ultra quiet.
So we'll lock up the first contacts. Have a look. Oops, there we go. It's a Kara.
Con sonar Sierra 1 is classified as escort.
So the Kara is quite a big escort ship. So helos. Ooh, that and that. The yellow active ping there. And have a look. Where is the Kara? I think Jive explained this once before. I get a bit mystified when you're close to 10,000 yards and then the contact's at 42,000 yards. No, we haven't got a great solution at the moment, but I know it's a transient by the time, you know, we probably settle down, targets have moved, but I don't think he's that far out anyway. So I'm going to come right just a little bit so that we come to course 180, and oh hey, Lee's here. Hi Lee. Yeah, hopefully sound is a bit better. So I don't know if you caught the beginning of the stream, but this isn't our mission. We keep being engaged by some ships that I can't get out of, so I've got to kill these guys first, I think. So we've identified a Kara, which is a pretty big escort ship. There's something else out here as well. .84 decibels, fairly quiet. Got some broken ice off to our right hand side there, ahead. That could be getting in the way of our sonar. Only got 368 feet here, which is not an awful lot more than the length of our boat.
Con sonar new contact bearing 241 designated Sierra 2.
This is what I wanted, the other contact. Unusually though, instead of it dark, stormy, horrible seas and that, we've got a nice, glorious, sunny day. We can actually see the icebergs are white for a change. I've not seen that before either, sort of broken up patches of ice. like a broken iceberg. That's different. Not seen that before. Okay, so Sierra 2. Let's have a look what this fellow is. Cash in. Gets a cannon.
Con sonar, Sierra 2 is classified as escort.
So we've got the Kara, 55%, 40,000 yards, and we've got the cannon, 23,000 yards. If I wasn't in such shallow water, I'd try and take them out with some rockets, missiles. But, so he's moving, cheating a bit. I think he's moving down by that iceberg there. Be careful of icebergs. Not run into an iceberg yet, but I'm sure it can't be good news. So let me set my torpedoes for surface engagement, both passive. Straight ahead shots. Actually, no, I think I'll set them for right hand. I'm going to change my course in a moment. So I'm going to stay due south. Well, I think what I'll do is I'll just try and kill these guys quickly, because I know it's not my mission. They're quite far away, but if I can kill the cannon and that, I might be able to take out the Kara with a missile. The only problem I've got is, does the cannon have helicopters? Not sure. I'm not sure it does, but I know the Kara does. If I give my position away with a rocket later on, even if it's just the only ship left, I've got no depth to hide in. That could be bad news bears. Okay, so firing point procedures. Contact Sierra 2 cannon. Range 22,000 yards, bearing 247. I'm going to shoot on that bearing. Range to enable. Do 10,500 yards. Bar tube 1.
Con, torpedo room, firing 2-1.
Hoping the wire doesn't break because it's off to my right. In fact, I might have already messed up because I haven't allowed all the icebergs. I think that's going to be okay, but Kara. Let's have a look. The Kara is bearing 241. 241 for me is that way. Okay, kind of does miss the icebergs at 241. So okay,
Con, fire control, unable to fire.
Target Kara, range 242. We'll lead the target to range bearing 246. Range 37,000 yards. Range to enable 16,000 yards. Our torpedo tube 2.
Con, torpedo room, firing tube 2.
I've got a bit of distance between these torpedoes, so with Rex and wires I'm hoping to kill both of them with these shots. Still could load a missile into torpedo tube 4, but I won't because of the helo. See, there we go with the range. 86%. Okay, I'm going to leave it enabled where it is because I've got 95% solution. I should be able to see that now. Let's have a look. This is heading to the cannon, I think, this torpedo. Have a look. Oh no, that's the one heading for the Cara. And this one is heading for the cannon, which is 43% solution. Have a look. Okay. This Cara might be nearer then. There he is. Woohoo! He's trying to manoeuvre. He's got an iceberg right in front of him. It's a good moment for a screenshot. I didn't normally get such nice weather as this to take pictures of the boat, so especially a Cara. One from the side. Take one from the back there. And I'll take one here with the iceberg and it turning. That's quite nice. There we go. That's my David Attenborough moment done with. So here's my torpedo. It's a long run. Still quite a long way off. Cara's 50. I don't think they know. Right, okay, that car is now showing, but we know it's in front of this iceberg, which is quite groovy looking, to be honest. If that's true, I need to adjust my naval range, which I'll do there. So 15,000 yards. That is going to be a problem because that's going to go for the car as well. I'm going to change that out there. Let this torpedo do its thing, and we'll see. You can sort of queue up and stack up these torpedoes a little bit when you've got the wires. You can get enough fuel and run time if the ships aren't too far away for you to sort of send them off somewhere and then bring them back in when the time's right. I'm loving these icebergs though, right? Some of them right down to the seabed. So really, I like the modelling because you know no two sort of seem alike really. Very nice, especially when the weather's like this. You can actually see the graphics. But as you know, I've been talking to Jive about this. I'd love to see some really deep North Atlantic areas and have like ravines and mountains on the seabed. So it's not just a case of, oh, I'll go 1,400 feet and you know you've got to watch out for peaks and troughs and you know steer. I mean, obviously the game would be a little bit of a cheat. You'd probably be able to see it. You could have a difficulty mod where you can only do it by sonar and have the options or the choices, but have some search and destroy and hide missions in sort of deep North Atlantic sort of zones would be pretty cool. Anyway, I'm looking at the, have a look at this missile torpedo. I keep calling them missiles, what am I doing? Okay. I'm going to just wind this on till it activates. It's searched, which it's going to do now. This one is aimed at the Cara. There we go. Which is 2. Steer it back onto the target. I think it's over here somewhere. When it goes red, it's acquired something and it's tracking it. The Kara, I mean, we've got him. I mean, he's making a ton of noise. We know where he is, just the right of that. So there he is there. Pretty big on the horizon. So yeah, in this shot you can see, so my torpedo 1 is this torpedo here to the right. That I'm going to try and find the cannon, which I'm not sure where he was. Still got quite a low solution on him. I think he's partly being hidden by the nice iceberg or the Kara signal. So we're going to try and take the Kara out with torpedo 2, which is the one we're looking at. Need to watch out for this iceberg. And then torpedo 1 will okay, now torpedo 1's just gone active. I didn't want it to do. I meant to just reset that just now and I was too late. So I've got 2 options. I could go use torpedo 1 for the have a look. Yeah, it's going to reach it first, so maybe I'll just swap targets. It's quite a big ship this, so I don't know if it takes 2 torpedoes, but 1 should do it if it gets a good side-on hit. So icebergs everywhere. We'll have a look, see what happens with this. We'll let torpedo 1 do its thing, and then maybe we can move 2 and target the cannon, which 35%. Still don't have a great solution in it. Okay. This is about to go boom time for them. Just momentarily lost the contact there in the wake of our torpedoes, all the noise. 2 torpedoes, so this should hit any second now.
Sonar lost contact. Sierra
Okay.
1, last bearing 2, 5, 6.
So
Contact
that was
breaking
enough to
up.
sink him. Okay, so what I want to do now, if I can, reload that, is take this one left of the wreck and try and find the cannon, which is somewhere over here in the bearing, but we're not sure where. Let's put the... Okay. Now if I tick this to go active, this thing would dive like a flipping Stuka bomber and go straight for the wreck. They're much harder to control when they're active searching and you've got loud noisy wrecks. So I'm going to keep it passive until I can find my cannon target. It's still only 30-odd%. Now it's not necessarily where it is on the map, only the bearing, so we're going to just move it right a little bit more.
Con, torpedo room, tube 1 ready.
Don't think it's behind me because we would have had a much better solution. See, it's locked on red there. So although the map is showing the cannon as being here, it's probably more likely to be about here because this torpedo is tracking something. We know the bearing, we know it's down that line, but its range 36-39% isn't good. So when you're playing this game, don't panic and move your torpedoes too often. Let them do their thing, particularly if you've got low solution percentages and you've got a situation like this where the torpedo is tracking the target, not tracking a wreck, and it's either going to hit straight away and we won't see it, get to 95% it will just hit, or or this solution will suddenly jump up. Now I could click active here and it pretty much would find it. The only thing is that wreck is still a bit close. He drops a noisemaker, sharp turns. The wire could get broken on active and go straight back to that wreck, so that's why I'm not putting the torpedo active. You can see it's tracking to the left because the ship is turning, so we're going to get a noisemaker here.
Con sonar lost contact. Sierra 2, last bearing 252.
So we
breaking up.
We didn't see any noisemakers or anything like that, but I've learnt when playing with these torpedoes not to use active too much. And just trust the torpedo a bit, because otherwise you end up losing a lot of them, wires breaking, getting sucked up on wrecks. And firing too many torpedoes at the same time is pretty difficult to manage with wires actively or torpedoes if you fired like 5 at the same time. Right, so just check I'm not going to run into an iceberg. Control basically, Lee. You lose the wire, you can't control the torpedo. It will go active and search itself, and if you've got multiple wrecks out there which are all making an extreme amount of noise, you can find that your active torpedoes that have lost the wire, you know, you could have 3 of them and they'll all hit the same dead target on the seabed or something going for the wreck. So I've managed in most of the missions I've done, is might be a bit boring for some of the stream, is 1 torpedo, 1 kill. I'm pretty much killing everything with the torpedo I shoot. Whereas when I played some of my first missions, when I first got Cold Waters,
Con, torpedo room, tube 2 ready.
I was breaking too many wires, I was too extreme angles, trying to shoot too fast and damaging torpedo tubes. Get 3 torpedoes out there that are all active. You've got 2-3 targets ahead of you, one of them gets killed, but then the wreck makes so much noise that the other active torpedoes that have lost the wire all go for the same wreck. The other ships drop a few noisemakers, slip away. Now it doesn't mean you can't win the missions and stuff, because you've usually got enough torpedoes, but you'll certainly waste a lot of torpedoes that way. So I pretty much, where I can, is keep the wire onto the target. Because then you've got that control, and a couple times I've overshot a target and been able to steer it back with a wire and get the target because I've got that control, whereas if it was active and it gone past out of its search area, it might just keep pinging away active in a direction you don't want it to go, and that's it, weapon wasted. It will just run until it runs out of fuel. So I've got nothing in front of me. Torpedo tubes reloaded, I think. Okay, so let's come out of this. So on the map we've got a submarine. We killed the car, killed the cannon. We know it's not our mission, but there is a subfleet almost immediately on top of me on the map, and I'm hoping that's the mission, because before this video I engaged 2 lots of submarines near the target area, both thinking they were my mission and my target, and they weren't. So hopefully 3rd time lucky. So well done. That's not our mission, we know that. See here, but didn't do anything, ran straight into me. Now if these guys aren't my mission, I'm going to have to sink the whole Russian subfleet before I come across the ones trying to invade. So bearings one, so the bearing contact is south. Well, we knew that on the map. Add that's 50 feet. Moderate level, thermal layer 83 feet. We're doing 5 knots. Let's just check our weapons. Now, every time that commandos have attacked, there's always been 2 subs. They're usually always foxtrots and whiskies. So that's what I'm predicting these guys are. We'll have a look. I don't know why the more modern boats that are in the 84 campaign don't carry commandos, but they don't seem to. They all seem to be on whiskies and foxtrots. Let's have a look. Having said that, I'll probably be wrong on this mission now.
Brig ship for ultra quiet.
Okay, so we already know our conditions.
Sonar lost contact. Sierra 1, last bearing 174. Contact faded.
Okay, so 81 decibels. That's quiet. Anything sort of under 90 is quietish. Above 90, kind of noisier. Above 100, pretty noisy. I think the highest I've seen is about 121, 124, something like that. You could be doing all kinds of crazy things. I've broached there. You need to. I don't know whether I pressed anything there. Whoops, gone. But a couple of times you start a mission, you're +5 on the balance, and your ship can come out of the water before you even realise it. Oh well, this is subs. They're not going to care whether I broach or not. I've only got 100, and this is the probably shallowest. The crazy thing is, I didn't move for my last mission, and I had like 300 feet of water. I haven't moved. Come into this mission, and I got 155 feet. Is basically nothing. I'm not going to mess around with these guys pretty much. Only got one target. I've lost him now. But what I could do is I can either pick him up on the TMA with my towed array, which I might do because I think there's more than one target, or I can just fire torpedoes at them, and because they react and cavitate, they start to give away the position, which is another tactic. Sometimes you don't feel you've got time to pick them up on the towed array. But I'm going to use a towed array attempt first, so I'm going to come left to course 090, so that towed array can pick up targets north and south of me. This one's south for sure. We're 5 knots, it's quite quiet. Now let me pre-do this, I'm guessing. So they're going to be subs. Get subs in here, Oscars, Deltas. And I think it's going to be a Juliet. Could be November, something like that, we'll see. Coming left, like icebergs, so that's land. Iceberg and land. Okay, got an iceberg there on my baffles. Iceberg here, which could get in the way of some sonar contacts. A little one there. I have hit an iceberg with a torpedo, I think, and didn't go well. For the torpedo, that is. Okay, I've overshot my course. Correction. That'll be fine. 80. Well, I'm going to come right to 090 because I'm probably going to turn around to shoot it. I can fire 90 degrees setting the torpedo that way, but you then need to move further north. You could lose the wire, so I tend to try and keep 30 to 40 degrees on the targets when I shoot, so I increase my chances of keeping the wire. Now I'm playing this on elite difficulty. This should, right to my south, I should pick him up pretty much straight away. Just probably need, because we do have towed array, but the game doesn't model it, so there'll be a wire coming out the back here, and if you stop, change direction, obviously it takes a little while. I'm dragging it at 5 knots for it to stretch out. You don't immediately acquire things, takes a minute or two. I'm hoping to pick up a contact Sierra 1 and maybe even a Sierra 2 here. Go on, Totally. It's quiet enough, I should be picking him up, but we're in such shallow water here. And if that target's off to my right hand bow, I mean, there is a couple icebergs. There's one there. It could be causing some issues. So I'm going to come right to 120. So a little bit southeast. I don't know what direction this guy was going yet. So coming up on course 120, straighten out there. Here we go, 120. Still nothing on the sonar. Okay, I'm going to make a right hand torpedo launch in case I need to do a snapshot. So Lee, if you're watching with the, I mean, these are good torpedoes. These are Spearfish. These are actually slightly more modern torpedoes. I've got the Spearfish torpedo. Sorry, Tigerfish. Before so the Spearfish they took over from the Tigerfish. So the Tigerfish were used in the 70s. I think they were used in the Falklands. I know historically that they were not all that great at always exploding when they should have done, or something to do with the triggers. A little bit more unreliable. I've had not that many problems with the Tigerfish in the game, to be honest, so they're not too bad. But the Spearfish are what the Astute are using. I think they did come in the late 80s as a slightly more modern torpedo, so I've actually got both types, and I am using mostly Spearfish here. But I don't know why I'm not picking this guy up now. I mean, 5 knots. It's quiet enough. You know what it could be? I'm just thinking of the way the map is. See slight colour differentiations on the map. So I'm in very shallow water. He's in slightly deeper water to me. These are like shelves. So if he's, say, in 250 foot deep water, he's like over the horizon on the that's probably why I can't pick him up. Yeah, I mean, that's just a guesstimate. Do you see how that there's a slight line here, there's another line here. I mean, it's very faint on the map, but these are all, so the darker the colour, the greater the depth of the ocean. So you can see it steps slightly up towards where I'm much closer inland. So I'm just thinking that part of the reason I can't pick him up is because I've only got 155 feet and my sonar's, it could be like 210 feet deep where he is, and it's just blocking my signal. Although I did pick him up briefly, I kind of think if it was an iceberg, we would have picked him up by now. There is a big iceberg here though, and another one over here that's got broken up ice. So if you look at where I am, those icebergs would be about here. If he was moving that way, the icebergs could be blocking him. So what I'm going to do now, I'm not picking it, I'm just going to come right to course 180. I'm probably going to fire a torpedo at him. I need to maybe steer around the iceberg. I've tried the towed array thing and it's not working at the moment, so I'm going to have to cause a reaction. Obviously if he tries to run and speed up, I'll get a very good sonar signal from him running from me. So we're coming right, we're heading south, pointing more where the bearing was. Course 165, coming up 170. Ease off a little bit on the rudder. Okay, 180. So our towed array will now be looking eastern and west, but our nose cone sonar will be looking at where we sort of last saw the target. My iceberg is a fair bit off to my right, so I mean I could speed up, I could dive down a little bit to 100 feet and speed up and see if I can go further south. I'll probably pick up a better, but I don't want him to fire a torpedo at me. So I always think offense is the best form of defense. So all I'm going to do is shoot a torpedo straight ahead, passive sonar, medium depth, and I'm going to shoot probably about course 170 here. So last contact was bearing 179. I'm going to shoot on, I think, about 182. Now if his range was 15,000 yards, I'm going to enable this at about 8,000 yards. Often these ranges are wildly inaccurate. Let's just assume he's off that shelf. You see where the colour, I'm going to enable it about where it changes, 8,500 yards. Yeah, I'll get on with that. So firing point procedures, bearing 186, range to enable, 8,500 yards, tube 1, fire.
Con, torpedo room, firing 2-1.
It was a bit of a blind shot this, but I'm actually using this to try and make something happen because I'm not getting anything at the moment. So now we've got the wire. If I highlight on that, can't steer the torpedoes if you're not selected on the right. You've got to be selected on the sub with the wire so that you can control it. I'm going to follow the torpedo. I'm assuming my contact's somewhere down here, not sure the distance. Could be where I've set to, you know, could be somewhere here, could be somewhere here. He won't have moved too much. If I had a bearing there, so if he was going left to right, he'll still be probably in those 3 blocks. So I think when my torpedo gets to here and starts looking, I'm hoping this guy will cavitate, pick him up. I had a problem picking up some Whiskies and Romeos in a earlier mission. They're quite quiet if they're not really doing any speed. But also the Barents Sea, I think, is just probably the worst place for you to be. The weather's bad, shallow depths. With the subs I've had, Lee, I think I prefer louder environments because I have been, you know, I was playing with these students. I mean, these do have good sonars and good towed arrays. So I mean, if I was playing a 68 boat, that might be different. But I think with the UK and US subs that I've played and with the sonars, I think I'd rather have a slightly noisier environment because I've got much more chance of picking them up and them not hearing me than the other way round. In very quiet environments, I mean, it's good. You've got an advantage even in a quiet environment. I think here with the ice and the shallow depth, that's and I am playing on elite, it's making it a bit harder. But I haven't noticed an awful lot of difference in the AI behaviour from moving from realistic to elite. but I have found a bit of difference in acquiring accurate sonar. So it doesn't tell you what you're changing when you're changing those settings, so I don't really know what's meant to be harder or not. But based on my experience, it seems to be the sonar and detection certainly seems to be a little bit different, harder on Elite than on the other settings. So torpedoes still yet to run to our search mode area, where it will actively look for a target, but on passive. Now I only use active because active is are very hard to control. They're very strong-wheeled torpedoes, let's put it that way, if there's wrecks and lots of noise around. But once, if you've got 3 or 4 ships and you've already killed one and maybe killing the second, and you're firing a 3rd or 4th torpedo, you could go active at that point because they know you're there. And but what happens with the passive torpedoes, particularly like if you've got a fleet of 8 or 9 ships that you're having to kill, which you do have to do in some of the bigger missions, you don't want to give your position away too soon, too quick. If you fire your torpedoes active almost as soon as they come out of your sub, the escorts will hear that and they'll come right for you and start heloing you and firing torpedoes at you. But I'll usually keep my torpedoes passive, and the ships don't really notice the torpedoes are there until they're 3,000–4,000 yards away. And by then it's too late for the ships, and it kind of keeps me in control of the battle. Now obviously when all hell's broken loose and everybody knows where you are and most of the ships are dead, it probably doesn't matter going active, but I keep passive because it's easier to control the torpedo and it doesn't give your position away when you've got more ships out there, particularly if you've got more ships out there that you haven't actually got on sonar yet. You kind of know it's a 3–4 ship mission, but you've only got 1 on sonar. So the torpedo's now gone into search mode. Now I think I heard Jive talking about this, and it's a little bit inaccurate. So when the target presses this line here, it's really locked on, but we found it doing it at different ranges and distances, so I'm not sure that's modeled completely accurate. This is kind of its search cone area. Obviously it's quite narrow near the torpedo and widens out. Now this bearing was right when we started this battle. We've no idea whether we went that way or that way. So what I'll start doing now is I'll control the torpedo and I'll have a little look. You'll see the map there. I'm going to have a little look to the right, set it off that way, see if it goes red, see if it picks anything up. I'm manually searching with the torpedo with a wire hair because all I had was a bearing for a small amount of time and then it disappeared. I've got very little data to go on. Even now I'm not. Now I could use an active ping, which is what I had to do in one of my other missions. That will probably pick him up, but then he'll know where I am. He might shoot at me, and I think there's 2 subs in this mission, not 1. So we've got nothing there, so I'm just going to come all the way to sort of that direction. We've got nothing. I'll search that way for a little bit, and without coming too far south, I'm going to start looking the other directions. Just give the torpedo a little bit of time. Even though it's passive, I mean it is listening, it is searching for a sub. Oh, see there, it's dove. See it's gone red now.
Regained contact on.
So there, so it worked. So I manually looked for him. It's now picked him up. It changed its depth. It's gone to red, so it's locked onto a target. Now I could go active. That would be pretty effective at this point. Active helps a lot. I don't have any other wrecks to worry about, but because there is another potential sub out there, I'm gonna let this run passive. And it's on this bearing that this torpedo is locked in at. and it's gone deeper. Remember what I said about him being deep? No, I still don't have a contact, but this is like a shelf here. The sea dips off deeper. I think the graphics of the seabed are a bit poor in this game. It not makes it look like a sudden cliff, and it's not. But this will redraw distance here. But I think he was in deeper water than I had. I had about 122 feet. Yeah, it makes it look like a cliff, but it's not. It's all seabed. It's all good. Just the game struggles with one of the seabed draw distances, but it is locked on. So if that sub was there and he was driving, see the torpedo? It's actually turning to the right, so it's tracking the target. We've got a 44% solution now. That's not off my sub. That's coming from the weapon, and it's increasing. It's 26 knots, so he's running, so it's turning all the way around now.
Con sonar lost contact. Sierra 1, last bearing 2, 0, 0. Contact breaking up.
I mean, we didn't even have him at all there, really, up to 42%, and the torpedo did the job. Now, I don't know what distance is. It's hard, but that depth there is easily 200 feet, maybe even 300 feet. And I think my sonar was just hitting the seabed and shielding the subs. So I'll escape. I still think there's another sub out here. Reload that torpedo, because I'm still in very, very shallow. So although that gradient is quite probably shallow, I think it's creating havoc with my sonar, basically shielding the enemy subs. So let's have a look. Yeah, vessels nearby, so there is another sub out here. So I could go active ping now, which would bounce off the sea, but if he's shielded, it ain't going to do me an awful lot of good. I'm going to keep running south because they're never that far away. It could be over here, could be over here. I'm going to come. I'm trying to think where they needed to invade. Whether it was here or I can't remember where the actual port is, but I'm going to come right to about course 200.
Con, torpedo room, tube 1 ready.
Oh, scared me that. I thought I found the contact. Make sure I don't run into any icebergs, which I'm not. That's good. So we're going to come right to course 200. 15 degrees right rudder. I would cavitate if I sped up from 5 knots at this depth. I'd need to get sort of below 100, 150 feet, and I don't really have the distance. Seabed zone net was about 122 when I started, or something like that. 152, and then so course 200. We're going to run south, getting slightly. I mean, this depth distance is going to change ever so slightly, but I'm hoping that will improve my. I don't know if you can see. I don't know if it comes out on the stream very well, but you can see the shading differences on the map there, and that's changes in depth. So if the subs are out here, I'm just too much in shallower water. Need to get out into deeper water to pick them up, which I'm doing, but very, very slowly. So I'm just going to run this on sped up time a little bit, heading in this direction. Water should be getting deeper, 159 and 55, he says. If I can pick up the other contact. If they're not spotted, they're probably doing 10 knots or under as well, so too worried about losing him at the moment. The depth now 164, 167, 168. It's opening up all the time. I think when I get to about 200 feet deep depth, it's like I'm probably going to pick him up on sonar. Once I get out of this sort of shelf I'm currently being in. it's already 200 feet. I mean, I could go lower and a little bit faster, but then that's gonna not help my sonar with the way the seabed is. The fact I'm imagining this in my head. I mean, it's gone to 22 feet now, but it's a bit like I'm sort of on top of a hill, and he's, you know, my sonar's looking out over the hill, but it can't get the angle, which should sort itself out pretty soon here. We're now up to 222 feet. Just want to make sure this guy doesn't get away and I fail the mission. It's going to come right to probably 210. Whopping great about iceberg over there as well. Tempted to go active. Let's do that because...
Con sonar, switching to active search. Con sonar, new contact bearing.
Secure active. Desperate measures. Oh!
Con sonar, lost contact. Sierra 2, last bearing 119. Contact faded.
Well, he is in the deeper water, and he's not quite where I thought he was going to be. So very dangerous what I did there going active, but that picked him up. So we're gonna point the bearing. We're coming full left, right rudder. Make our course, I'd say about 140. Lost the bearing now because the contact went. I can't remember, what did it say? We need a history log of the sayings. I'll lose it and then. So we're going to come to about 140. I'm probably going to do the same thing, fire a torpedo and let the torpedo work it out when it gets there. Passing 150. There we go, a bit past it, into about 135. Okay, but again, he is further out at depth. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing again. Fire a torpedo down the bearing. A long way away, 32,000 yards. I'm going to arrange to enable out here. There. Our torpedo tube 1.
Con, torpedo room, firing tube 1.
Let the torpedo do its thing. Yeah, it's not flat in the game because you do have these shells. Changes in depth. Certainly if you're in sped up time, that's a dangerous thing to be running the boat near the sea bottom in sped up time. You easily run aground. But I would like to see, as I say, maybe in very deep oceans, some sort of mountains coming up from the bottom, a bit like we've got icebergs on the sea, that you'd actually have to steer around and go up and down with, but whether that would work in the game or it's even feasible, I don't know, but well, I'm sure it's feasible. But okay, so we're just gonna run on until, I mean, that distance probably was fairly accurate. I mean, I think close to 10,000 yards, so why there were...
Con sonar regained contact on.
Whoa! whoa. If that's accurate, 22% it's not, but I need to enable the weapon, so I don't think he's that close though. But I've got a new bearing now, which is 116, which is probably off the weapon. Right, there it goes. It's diving down to the depth of the submarine. There is a danger of it hitting the seabed if he's, because of the gradients in the shallow. I don't think we'll have that problem. I think we're going to have the same thing here. We're going to run and hit into him without getting much of a 3D model here, which is a bit like the realistic mod, but you can't see anything. But we've just not had good solutions, so I didn't even look what this boat was. Looks like a Victor. Be a Victor. Romeo or Whiskey. Yep, I'll put it as a Victor.
Con sonar Sierra 2 is classified as submerged submarine.
So again, the torpedo's tracking. It's running directly on that bearing. But we had him 35,000 yards. Then he was something 12,000 yards. He's probably somewhere in between. He's probably about 15, 16,000. He's probably about here. Or sooner, so we're gonna.
Con sonar lost contact. Sierra 2, last bearing 118. Contact breaking up.
Yeah. Okay. Wasn't that far away then, but. Let's just see, can I see the sub here? He's not that far away, but I can't see the wreck or the sub because again I think the seabed's not modelled quite the way. Anyway, op success I think. Let's just pray to God that was our mission. I sank three lots of submissions and a ship mission just trying to get these commandos killed that are trying to invade this island. Let's just reload the torpedo.
Con, torpedo room, tube 1 ready.
Okay, so no one else. 2 subs, so that does fit in with the mission target, but I had 2 subs in the other two lots of missions that I killed, thinking that was the mission. So November, and it was a Victor. Never knew that was a November until we hit it. And a Victor. Have a look. Fingers crossed. Not our mission objective. You're joking me. Oh. So 6 subs and 2 ships have paid the price for these commandos. I need to check my mission didn't get changed or I missed it. I don't think it did anyway. We'll save it here. Just have a quick look at the summary. So we still haven't done mission 5. We're up to 177,000 tons. Let's just check the brief. Yeah, Spitsbergen Commando. So we're still on that mission. We're in the right place. I was going to say, look, here's Spitsbergen here, and I've stopped everything coming up to this island so far. I guess I just got there too early. sinking after the Russian fleet. Are you the commandos? Boom, blow them up. No, no, it's not us. Okay, on you go. Hey, boom, blow them up. Are you the command? No, it's not us either. Losing half the Russian fleet. Okay. A bit more time. Let me see then. It's got to be, say, this sub coming up. When I destroyed 2 lots of subs and then I had a ship and a sub come up, which is basically what I've just killed in this video, I was pretty sure that the 3rd sub one was going to be the target, because again, why would it come so far north if it wasn't trying to invade Spitsbergen? But no, I'm going to move out a little bit here. I'm going to move out to meet this guy. We're getting deeper water, and this better be my target. I tell you what, if I get him in deep water, I get him in sonar straight away. A couple torpedoes, boom, and I can kill two subs in 10 minutes flat if it's right conditions. So we're getting close to 10,000 yards. We're 150 feet deep already, which is a good sign that we are in deeper water. We're still Barents Sea, so it's not. Speed 10 knots. Got all 2 torpedoes loaded. Come on, this damn well better be our mission.
Rig ship for ultra quiet.
Okay. Icebergs already to my left. Starting to get to night. Oh jeez, I've got a flipping great big iceberg right in front of me. Make sure I don't steer into that. I didn't even notice where the targets were. Okay, so we've got a contact already. Let's have a look who this is. Maybe a sub.
Con sonar Sierra 1 is cavitating.
Cavitating already. Means he might have me. But there he is. He looks like a Victor. Smells like a Victor.
Sierra 1 is classified as submerged submarine.
So, I mean, you can see I was here before. I'm in much, much deeper water here. So as long as they're in this dark blue area, I should kill these guys pretty quickly. I just need to pick up where the other one is. I'm going to come, actually, I'm going to come in left to go head south, but if he's... let's let my TMA do its thing for a minute. See if we can get another target. I'm pretty sure he's not on his own. Normally I don't like firing until I get solutions of 60% and above, and even better 70-80% if possible. But on some of those missions that I just did, I was firing at targets with 35% solutions or less, just to try and make them cavitate and get a position off them. Right, so now we've got see so it's now when it's not a square box, when you get an open box like that, this is the direction. That's its nose and that's its tail. So we now know that its course, and you'll see in the
Con sonar new contact bearing 129 designated Sierra 2.
Great, these guys are going to die super quick. So he's heading in that course. Sierra 2's just changed distance twice. That's 10% solution. Dead off my left bow. Okay. I need to come left anyway, otherwise I'm going to run into this iceberg. So I'm going to come 15 degrees right rudder. I'm going to make my course 180 due south. Could have done with you Leon comms or something to say. Be my. Sometimes I just forget to look and I've gone way past my heading. Let's have a look. So we picked him up out here, and then his distance changed. So yeah, I mean 49. So he's 10,000 yards away. He's not as close as he was just a minute ago. This guy's probably not as far as he is 21. That he's probably closer. But again, the bearings are both pretty much. This guy's on bearing 122. This guy's on 126. I'm heading to 180. So I'm going to be shooting torpedoes left. Medium depths. They're not surface ships, so that's fine. And I'm going to pretty much fire torpedoes at the same time here. I'll just change the arming distances slightly to avoid. So Sierra 2, what sub is this? Foxtrot. Okay, now Foxtrots are normally commandos.
Con sonar Sierra
I'm
2
feeling good.
is classified
But
as
this is the mission.
submerged submarine.
Did that the last 3 times. Okay. Oh god, I've gone past my course. Done it already. Come right, please. Course. Go to 170. That will be fine, just as long as I don't hit that iceberg. 107. Okay, so a quick situational awareness. Iceberg there, ahead, nothing. Well, not for a while. I'm heading towards that iceberg there, but some way off. Okay, so I'm good. Okay, so these are slightly left-hand
sonar
shots.
Sierra 2 is cavitating.
He's 14 knots, he's cavitating. Probably because he's changed depth, he doesn't realise it. 61%, 21,000 yards. I still think he's closer than that. I've now got both heading for my mission target. So again, he's 9,000, 61%. I'm guessing this guy's about 15, he's about here. This guy's probably not far from where he is, 10 or 11. Okay, ready on torpedo tube 1. Torpedo 1, target Sierra 1 Victor on bearing 118, range 9,000 yards, range to enable 5,000 yards. Our torpedo tube 1.
Con, torpedo room, firing tube 1.
Torpedo tube 2. Foxtrot is the target. Bearing 121, range 21,000 yards. Shoot. Bearing 112, range to enable. I'm going to enable it about here.
Con, torpedo room,
I
firing
can change
tube
these
2.
enabling ranges en route, so I need to worry about getting them. So I think both of these, I think this guy's about here and I think this guy's about here, but this still will probably die first, so torpedo 1 we'll keep an eye on, find him here, and he's enabling, not active but going into search mode. So these kind of old subs, they don't detect the range I'm at and stuff. They don't hear these torpedoes coming until they pretty much go into the. I think it's clear Sierra 1 did hear me because he's now doing 31 knots, so 84% solution. Might actually be closer. So when we get these little dots coming out the back, that's actually then we have like his speed. There he is. And once we get to 95% solution, you get the 3D models pop up. So he's running. Now I can do a couple of things here. I can either just wait and the torpedo will do its thing, or I can do this and just move it a little bit. Now we're getting a track plot on this guy here. Sometimes you think this is miles away, but you know, when you look in the game, you know, we can see both. We see the torpedo and the target over there. Sorry, both our torpedoes, and there's the target just there. So let's just check where this second one is enabling. Yeah, past him. He's actually turned round into the torpedo, which is going to go active. Well, it has gone into active search. He's heading right at the torpedo now, which he's probably regretting. He's starting to turn. Now I need to just keep an eye, click on this and keep an eye to steer, because he could drop noisemakers, but at this angle not really going to help him. And I'm hoping this will be a fairly short mission, because I've tried so many missions trying to get this one done, and look, he's cavitating. He's doing 32 knots, doing a bit of an S. Could have fired a torpedo at me, but he didn't. This is where I think the AI could improve. I mean, he knows where that torpedo is coming from and doesn't attempt to launch a torpedo at me. But I think that's part of the problem, because they don't have a contact to shoot at. I mean, you could shoot down the bearing of the torpedo. Wouldn't be a bad idea, but biggest problem I have with torpedoes is definitely the ones dropped from the helos.
Con sonar lost contact. Sierra 1, last bearing 0.
I mean, he's
9,
right
6,
under this ice
contact
front.
breaking up.
Maybe the guys can get out and swim for it. Okay, that's him dead. Torpedo 2-2. See, we've actually got a solution now on him. We can see the 3D model. So if we look at the Foxtrot, he'll be over 90% because we've got the model on him. I led the target, which is okay. Still okay. Might shorten the search range. Just change it slightly there. And this is the Foxtrot. I'll speed up a little bit here. No helo surface shit, so nothing to worry about too much. We lost him there, probably because of all the noise from our torpedo. Right, it's gone red immediately. It's dived down, so it's acquired the target. We'll get him popping back up again, probably. I'll show you, Lee. Oh, I don't know. You might have gone, but anyway, you can see us video. So I'm going to turn this torpedo active. There you go. We'll ping away. We'll probably get the 3D model now. There you go. You can hear the ping. Now I don't do this if there's other ships and things out there, because again it does tend to invite more torpedoes your way. But seeing as this is the last sub, about to die here from this quick mission.
Con sonar, noisemaker, bearing 1,
So,
1, 2.
It's dropped a noisemaker. Sometimes if you stay passive they won't drop a noisemaker because they really don't hear the torpedo, but it's too late. But not a problem. Just steer around. Sometimes you don't need to steer around and the torpedo will still find the target. They're pretty smart, but
Con sonar, noisemaker, bearing 1, 1, 1.
it's very good there. He dropped another one. So we'll make a hard left on the torpedo, steer this guy manually, probably hit him on the nose or...
Con sonar lost contact. Sierra 2, last bearing 1, 1, 1. Contact breaking up.
Here we go. 2 quick kills. Oh, the joys to be in deep water. Or deeper water. Okay. Reload the... reload the tubes.
Con, torpedo room, tube 1 ready.
You can do this in the map mode, but
Con, torpedo room, tube 2 ready.
sometimes you get engaged so quick on the map. I prefer to reload the torpedoes where I can in the battle match. Right, so that's it. Fingers crossed this is our mission. If it is, we'll leave the stream after this, and that will be mission 5 completed on the 5th attempt, I think. yeah, 3. That was the 4th sub match, and we did a ship one. So yeah, fingers crossed. Then okay, let's have a look. So Victor 1 sunk, Foxtrot sunk. Excellent performance. Oh, thank God, praise the Lord. That was our mission on the 5th attempt. So we got the Spetsnaz commandos. They were late arriving. Half the Russian fleet was also trying to invade the island, but we killed them anyway. So yeah, great, wonderful. Let's. I should get a medal for that, man. Thank half the Russian fleet. Red sub sank. Yep. Okay. Good. Any medal? No, maybe not. So the next mission is going to be a wolf pack of enemy cruise missile submarines. Oh, okay. Enemy missile subs. SSBNs. They'll sail from Murmansk and they transit the Denmark Strait, after which they'll likely interdict NATO combat. So we're in a pretty good area for that. You've just got to come south and wait for them. Also got enough weapons. I don't know what the wolf pack will be. Actually, I don't think I've done one of these missile wolf packs. There could be 3 or 4 subs. We'll see. Okay, so we're going to continue that. Exo status. We'll just check the weapons. Running a bit low. 9 spearfish. 2 tigerfish. So 9 spearfish, 2 tigerfish, a couple mosses. I think after this mission we'll need to go back to Holy Lock anyway. Okay, so we're going to continue course, save the game, put a save in there. So they're coming from Murmansk. Well, it says Denmark Strait, doesn't it? So I think we just got to make our way back here. There's some combat around here, and then hopefully we can go to Holy Lock after that mission. So let's have a quick look at our summary. Mission 5 accomplished. My God, I never thought I'd see the day. I don't recommend fighting up in the Barents Sea. I'm glad that this is in the Denmark Strait, the next one. So we're up to 186,000 tons, 290. We did sink a bigger ship in one of the missions that we were trying to get to before mission 5, but being subs wasn't a lot of tonnage. But we have sunk 27 ships, 2 capital ships, and we've only just done our 5th storyline completion. So yeah. Okay, so that was finally mission 5. I will probably do a video maybe tomorrow, and we'll continue on. We'll do the Wolfpack missile subs, which is our mission 6. We might have to do a couple other missions either side of that to get this successful mission, but or sometimes you get the mission straight off. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, thanks for joining me. I hope the audio was a bit better on this video than it was on the last. Apologies for that. I don't know really what happened. Gremlins, bit of a noob still with some of this streaming lark, so hopefully sorted on this video. As always, leave your comments in the comments section. Thanks for joining me. This is Lone Gamer UK. I'll see you next time.